Welcome to Social Aloe Ministries, where we are committed to glorifying God while exposing the devil. You may have heard us saying, what God has for you is for you. However, your actions, to include your failure to act, may determine when you receive that blessing and or what condition you receive the blessing in. Yes, I'm aware of Proverbs 20:21, which basically states that an inheritance claimed too soon will not be blessed in the end. But this is about those blessings that the Lord has appropriated for you, and it's up to you to capitalize on the opportunity. It is ripe for the picking. But oftentimes, you may be expecting the Lord to put an opportunity directly in your hands, but all he does is put you within striking distance. Let's not forget, the Lord promised the Israelites the promised land. However, because of their failure to act, because of fear and lack of faith, the Lord delayed that promise by 40 years. In fact, an entire generation died without ever stepping foot into the promised land. I do not want you to die, so to speak, in the wilderness while waiting to get into the promised land because you failed to act. Also, the battles the Israelites faced, the real battles, were not in the wilderness. They were in the promised land. They had to fight for the fulfillment of the blessing. There's another example in John 5 of fighting for the blessing. Because one thing the devil loves is a passive Christian. If you're waiting back or just standing back waiting for the Lord to bring something into your hands, after he has put it within striking distance, but you have to make the move. If you don't, remember what Jesus said in John 10:10, that the thief, the devil, comes but to steal, to kill, and to destroy. And many people can relate to seeing their blessing being carted off by the enemy. In some cases, they got it back, but it came back in much different condition. And they know that if they had acted sooner, things would have been different. Okay, the other example is in John 5:1-8. And I'll read that. After this, there was a feast of the Jews, and Jesus went up to Jerusalem. Now, there is at Jerusalem by the sheep market a pool, which is called in the Hebrew tongue Bethesda, having 5 porches. In these lay a great multitude of impotent folk. A great multitude, meaning there's competition, of blind, halt, withered, waiting for the moving of the water. For an angel went down at a certain season into the pool, and troubled the water. Whosoever then first, and I'll say first from the multitude as previously listed, after the troubling of the water, stepped in, was made whole of whatsoever disease he had. So there was a lot of competition to be first into the water to receive the healing. And that's what it is with blessings. There's a lot of competition sometimes for a blessing. And in some cases, the competition comes from the enemy, who again comes to steal, kill, and to destroy. And a certain man was there which had an infirmity 38 years. So he had an infirmity for 38 years. Some of you may have been waiting for 38 years for a blessing. Some of you not so long, but you may be aware that you missed some opportunities. When Jesus saw him lie and knew that he had been now a long time in that case, he saith unto him, Wilt thou be made whole? And it's almost like Jesus was asking him, you have been here all this time. Don't you want to be healed? Aren't you willing to do whatever it takes to get into the water to get healed? Aren't you willing to get within striking distance? The impotent man answered him, Sir, I have no man, when the water is troubled, to put me into the pool. But while I am coming, another steppeth down before me. So the man told Jesus that he had no help getting into the water. I'm not going to debate whether he had a legitimate excuse or not, but if you have been crying out to the Lord for something and he has put you within striking distance and you have not capitalized on the opportunity, do not complain that you needed help. It was up to you to capitalize on the opportunity when it presented itself. And it's like being at a bus stop. If you miss a bus, you're going to have to wait around for another one. In some cases, the bus may come around every 15 minutes, but you just never know when the next bus is going to show up. So it's always best to capitalize on an opportunity that you have when it presents itself. Okay, but Jesus saith unto him, Rise, take up thy bed and walk. So at least Jesus had mercy on him and healed the man without the angel having to come down and stir the water and with all the competition. So yes, what the Lord has for you is for you. In some cases, you're going to receive that blessing and realize you could have had it much sooner. And rather than being in the wilderness, so to speak, you could have been enjoying milk and honey in the promised land. Do not be passive when opportunity presents itself. Remember, your actions or failure to act may have an impact as far as when you receive a blessing and or what condition you receive the blessing in. God bless you.